Hi, my name is Jenna, and today I'm going to consider the legal aspects with regards to the design of a chair. I will briefly explain the protection provided under the Designs Act, the overlap with protection under the Copyright Act, and when it is legal to sell replica furniture. Given the current focus on this area of law in other jurisdictions, I will also compare Australia's legislation to that of the United Kingdom. I want you to meet Joe. Joe has made his morning coffee, but when he goes to sit in his usual chair, he realises just how ugly the chair is to look at. This gives Joe the fantastic idea of a new chair design. He has no idea if anyone else would appreciate the look of his new chair design, but he starts manufacturing them and suddenly they're selling like hotcakes. Hooray! Joe is going to be rich for the rest of his life, all because of the Joe chair. Perhaps not, if poor Joe happens to live in Australia. It is important to note Joe is uncomfortable with how his chair looks or the chair's aesthetic appeal, as opposed to how the chair works. Therefore, the area of law will be around design law. Patent law is not relevant to Joe's story, as we will not be considering the ergonomics of the chair. Under the Commonwealth Designs Act, Joe can register his design to gain the exclusive right to prevent others from making, selling, offering to sell, importing, or using in the course of their trade a design that embodies the registered design. This would protect its unique distinctive appearance, so long as the design is both new and distinctive and not identical to other designs. However, Joe's registered design would only be protected for 5 years, and only once can Joe elect to extend the protection for an additional 5 years. This means after the 10-year design protection has expired, the Joe chair can be copied and legally advertised as a replica. This would allow John or Jim to come along and sell replicas of the Joe chair to the Australian public. Poor Joe could have copyright protection, but he needs to be careful relying on this protection as it may not apply to the design industrially, but to the drawing of the design only. This automatic copyright is lost when Joe registers a design industrially, as dual protection is not possible, therefore losing Joe the lifetime plus 70-year protection offered under copyright. The term applied industrially has the meaning given by the regulations under Section 77 of the Copyright Act. The Copyright Regulation 17 specifies that for the purpose of Section 77, a design is taken to be applied industrially if it has been applied to more than 50 articles. Assuming Joe has sold more than 50 Joe chairs, the Joe chair is no longer considered new under copyright law, and Joe has lost the ability to register the design under the Copyright Act. Moving away from Australia, let's consider the UK legislation. The UK are extending their design protection laws, which were planned to be introduced by 2020, but brought forward given the detrimental impact it has on designers. The new laws will allow for artistic craftsmanship to have the same coverage as painters and sculptors, with protection lasting the lifetime of the designer plus 70 years. Furthermore, UK design protection laws now ensure copies of replicas are considered illegal, with fines of up to £50,000 and 10 years jail. UK change of legislation is to bring the country in line with new EU IP laws. These changes have not been formally considered in Australia. The Australian Law Reform Commission recently undertook a review of Australia's copyright law, but did not address the issue of replicas or the dilemma faced by poor Joe.